Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini episode of Distraction. Last night I was at the 70th birthday party of my dear friend John Rady. He was my chief resident when I was in training way back in 1979, and we've remained very close friends ever since. He's godfather of one of my children and co-author of several of the books that I've written, and just a wonderful and dear friend. And we were, along with some of the other folks he invited, we got into a long discussion of not only the field of psychiatry, but modern life. And I found several people, we were all in our late 60s, I'm 68, or early to mid-70s, and there was a general sort of disparaging of the times, and one of the members of the discussion was saying, there just are no standards anymore, and, the excellence is disappearing, and standards are being gone by the wayside. And it hearkened me back to another conversation I was having with another friend in New York City over dinner, and he was telling me that, and he's a major figure in the world of literature, and he was saying the world of literature as we know it, the world of letters as we know it, is dying, and the canon of, that I was an English major myself, the canon of Chaucer and Milton and Shakespeare and Dickens and so forth is fast fading. Now, he has a lover, boyfriend, who's about 30 years younger than he is, and his boyfriend was saying, and that's just fine. And I was so taken by that. And I said, why is that just fine? He said, because now everyone has access. It was before you had to master the one way. And in the conversation last night, the implication was, with no standards, well, those standards were enforced one way. And the implication was now the set of standards that were enforced are crumbling, and this is a bad thing. And I was thinking to myself, now that it's open season, now that anyone can have a go at a business, anyone can have a go at publishing, anyone can have a go at creating. Yes, there's a lot of mishmash. There's a lot of stuff out there that you could say has no quality. You could say is substandard. But as my friend's younger friend was saying, everyone has a go at it. There's no one way. There's no canon. There's no monolith. And I was thinking to myself, when I was in my 20s, people in their 60s and 70s were despairing that there were no standards, that the world was going to hell in a handbasket. And they were harumphing the way some of us were harumphing last night about the death of standards, that this younger generation with long hair and the Beatles were trashing all that was excellent, and that, Bach was rolling over in his grave, and this new music was just horrendous to listen to, and there were no standards any longer. And I began to think I was in the company of old farts, that is this what happens inevitably? The older generation despairs the younger generation. And I look at my own children and I see young, vibrant, creative people. And I see the young people I know, and they're young, vibrant, and creative. And the disparaging of millennials as lazy and so on and so forth, I don't see it, frankly. And I know lots of people do see it, and I know it's a cliche. And I'm on the side of my friend's younger boyfriend who's saying, isn't it great that lots of people have access? Isn't it great that the monolith, the one set of standards, isn't ruling? Yes, we've opened the gates to all sorts of entries that maybe don't pass certain sniff tests. And maybe not everyone is reading Shakespeare anymore. And, I was an English major who loved Shakespeare, and I can appreciate the immense beauty of Shakespeare. And to my way of thinking, he's the greatest genius who ever lived. But okay, I can love him. But that doesn't mean everyone has to love him. And that doesn't mean to be considered a civilized person, you must appreciate the beauty of Shakespeare. I think that is a way that sets some people apart from other people and sets other people to feel bad about themselves, and they shouldn't. I was privileged enough to have a very wonderful education that cost a lot of money. That, yes, I had to perform well to get that education, but I also had to be able to pay for it, and in order to develop my appreciation for Shakespeare and the other people I came to appreciate, I had to have a fair amount of luck. I don't think we should require that of everybody in order to say they have achieved excellence. I think you can achieve excellence simply by being creative in your own way and developing your talent in your own way. You can be creative drawing something on the wall of a cave, as people did all those many years ago. And I think we want to honor the creative process wherever it's found, and not wring our hands in a curmudgeonly fashion about the deterioration of standards. Instead, go out looking for the bright, young, creative people who are doing great work that may not fit our definition of excellence, that may not fit what we're accustomed to seeing, but are indeed creating the new standards of excellence that will define our culture in the decades and centuries to come. This is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini episode of Distraction.